the
Go ahead.
the business needs. So
Okay.
yes,
So potential solution, is that one of them?
potential solution. No, I don't think so. No.
Okay, we think that's the answer. Let's go through the rest. Future state description.
Yes, we need to know what we are building, what will be the future site. Yes.
That's right. And business objectives. Do we need to know that?
Yes, the verify phase is related to the characteristics of the solution. The validate is related with the business objectives.
Okay, so Amarachi, do you agree that B is the best answer also?
Yes.
Okay, and you're both correct. So you got potential value here instead of potential solution. So it's potential value, solution scope, future state description, and business objectives. Very good. Jose, you're getting so close to being ready to take the test. I'm excited. Production personnel have to complete a significant amount of paperwork for each batch of a new product. Much of the paperwork asks for the exact same information, and the worker has to manually enter it on every form. This is contributing to the plant missing its monthly production goals unless it offers overtime, which eats away profit. Melissa is a BA tackling this issue and suggests pre-printing forms with batch information to avoid having to manually enter it. What type of recommendation is this? So she's providing a solution, right? So that's analyze potential value and recommend solution. Is that the task we're in?
Printing forms with that information. Yes, evaluating the solution. Yes.
Okay. So what type of recommendation is this? Is this necessity, avoid waste, reduce complexity of interfaces, or eliminate redundancy?
I will go with eliminate redundancy.
Okay. Amarachi, what do you think?
Yeah, I think it has to do with eliminating redundancy.
Okay. Testing. And you're correct. It is eliminate redundancy. Good job. Okay, what might Melissa cite as an additional benefit of the recommendation to help sell it to approvers? Pre-printing will reduce errors related to paperwork by 3%, saving $23,000 annually. The paperwork will be easier to read as some workers' handwriting is horrible. Additional benefits aren't needed as the recommendation is straightforward and logical. Employees will see evidence that the company is listening to their complaints about and doing something about it. Employee morale will increase, and with it, productivity and quality. Which one could we eliminate?
The horrible handwriting.
That might be true, but that's not the way to say it, right? So what is the best answer?
I'm divided between A, Alabama, and D, Denmark. But how will the employees see the benefit and the evidence?
Based on our response of the recommendation, I would lean more to A.
You like B as in boy?
A as in apple.
A is an apple. Okay. Why do you like A more?
So we talked about redundancy, and that's one of the implications of just all of those things. So um it's one of the errors, let me call it, involved in it. We're preparing it manually. So yeah.
Okay. Jose, which
Amarachi,
one do you think is
can,
the best?
can I ask you
Yeah,
a question, Amarachi?
Sure.
Potentially is the correct answer, but I'm just asking to clarify my own understanding. Why you're choosing this? Because how you understand it is 3% and 23,000. Like, where did you find those, numbers?
To have found these numbers, they would have had to do a study of what the impact of the errors were, how much additional time it took. There's going to be what is the result of having an error? How long does it take to repair the error, and what could they have been doing instead of that time to make profit?
Also one thing I learned from the Babok case, when you're trying to present things to approvers, one major thing is giving them the cost, like letting them see the cost of not doing it. And this one quantifies it to them and makes it kind of clearer. So for me, that's why.
Mm-hmm. One reason I like A is because we're using numbers that talk to the executive's bottom line focus. If you can say employees will be happier, that's one thing. If you can say we're going to save you this much money, they that's a totally different way of hearing it.
Exactly.
Okay, let's test this one. Okay. It's also smart. It's specific, measurable, so we're good there. Okay, next question on the same scenario. And I see Gabrielle has joined us. Welcome. Melissa's recommendation was accepted. What will she need to ensure happens as a result to measure value? Should she communicate the decision to production personnel, develop the processes related to pre-printing labels, inspect the labels once printed to gain assurance that the new process fulfills quality standards, or evaluate the solution if of the pre-printed labels to ensure the forecasted value promised is realized? What do we think?
I will go with C for Canada.
Okay. I need a second vote.
Joseph, who is going to print all those labels and how the process will start
That's
to check
outside
it?
of the scope of this question. I agree, as a business analyst, you're going to ask those questions, but that's not what we're asking. After the labels are printed, what does she need to do to measure value? This is the key to this question.
So, sorry, Emma, I just couldn't listen to your question. I'm just curious.
I was just wondering to the answer C sounds very good, but I was wondering how that the production will start and get complete to check it. I mean, where you will receive the labels to check it.
Okay, I get
So
it. I get it. So, yeah.
from the sorry, can I go ahead? Can you hear me?
I can hear you, yes.
Okay, so from this question, it does not. I think I'm going to go with D because it's not saying. So I have to go with it because it has not really said that, oh, they are done with all the printed labels. So
Okay.
I think before you get to the stage where the labels are printed, probably you do a batch printing and then check it to make sure that okay, what you've said from that batch printing really meets um the value you already promised them. You told them it's going to do this. So I think I'll go with D.
Okay. D does talk about forecasted value.
Yeah, but
Okay,
I
I've got a vote for C and a vote for D.
still go for C because that will be like kind of like a quality assurance process, actually measuring out the defect products and the ones that.
Okay. Gabrielle, do you have a vote?
Hello.
Hello.
And it's more the D because the value should be ensured.
Okay, let's test D and we'll see what the correct answer is. This is what the majority of solution evaluation knowledge area focuses on, delivering of forecasted solution value. So this is a good thing to do, but it doesn't answer the question. It says what will she need to do to ensure happens as a result to measure value. So inspecting the labels will be quality standards, but that's not value. She's going to have to
Okay,
evaluate the forecasted value as promises realized. So she's going to be literally do a study of, so we've changed our process. Do we actually reduce the number of errors by 3%? Thus, does it really save us $23,000? You understand why this is the best answer
yeah,
now?
yeah.
Okay, let's move forward. Which inputs would be leveraged by the business analyst to support measuring solution performance? So we need inputs in measuring solution performance. Measuring solution performance is going to be the first task in solution evaluation knowledge area. We need to know the inputs. Is it implemented solution external business objectives? Implement solution internal business objectives, budget and timeline, or current state description?
It's either A or B because it has the business objectives, but I'm not sure if it's external or internal.
Okay, so we've got a vote for A and a vote for B. So that means we want to eliminate these. I need somebody else to vote.
Hmm.
Gabrielle Amarachi, what do you think?
Um,
Mm. It's to measure the solution performance. It could be the current state description or implemented solution.
So let me read you the purpose of measure solution performance. We want to define performance measures and use data collected to evaluate the effectiveness of a solution in relation to the value it brings.
hmm. So,
Yeah, yeah, it's either A or B.
yes.
So what I'm understanding that solution performance is not related to the current state. Current state means in this
Yeah,
context the X state, the old state.
Current state is the current state, not oldest state.
Okay, but not related to the solution.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards the current state.
I'm sorry, Amarachi, say that again.
I said I'm leaning towards current state
Okay.
description.
I've got 2 votes for current state. Let's test it. So this one is not an input. The 2 inputs are the implemented solution external and business objectives. Let me talk about implemented solution external in the BABOK. We cannot figure out why they call it external, but it is the implemented solution external that they use. It never says an implemented solution internal. I don't know why they call it external at all, but that is the input with business objectives into measuring the solution performance. Okay, maybe we'll get it right next time. The following are some of the factors a business analyst would consider to establish the level of decomposition and the level of detail to be specified while conducting information decomposition. Which one is not? So remember, information decomposition is whenever you take something and you break it down into its component parts. The idea in this question is how granular do you make it, or how detailed do you make it? Is it enough to say I enter the customer's information into the form, or do you need to say I enter the customer's mailing address into the form, I enter the customer's phone number into the form? So that's how granular the decomposition can get. So 3 of these are things that you consider. 1 of them is not. 1 is organizational standards, knowledge and understanding of the stakeholders, contradictory or regulatory obligations, and schedule and budget allocations. So, do we think organizational standards is something we consider? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
This is a not type of question, so I'm divided between A, Alabama, D, Denmark.
Okay. Tell me why you like each of those.
I don't like them because I prefer the other 2. The knowledge and understanding of stakeholders will determine the granularity if we are talking to business owners, to developers, that kind of stuff.
Right,
The
right.
contractual regulatory obligations, what constraints are we facing? What is stopping us from, or better yet, what we need to do to avoid those constraints, those penalties?
Mm-hmm. So tell me why you think schedule and budget allocations might not be considered whenever you're thinking about decomposition.
That's the thing. I'm not sure. Scheduling budget. Okay. The time that we have to deliver the solution
Mm-hmm.
and the amount of and the budget that we have to work it on may need to be done really quick, or we have a lot of time, so it could have an influence on the granularity, on the level of the decomposition.
How would it?
Organizational standards. That's the one that I have more difficulty explaining. So yeah, I'll go with that one as a not answer.
Okay. I've got 1 vote for A. Gabrielle, Amarachi, what do y'all think?
There would be the B for the understanding of the stakeholders.
So that would be included or excluded.
Oh, this is the one of the good things.
Okay.
The schedule and budget allocation I would exclude.
Okay.
I would, this is not,
So your vote is D. Is that correct?
yeah,
Okay.
this is correct.
Okay, Amarachi, I've got 2 votes in. Can you give us a tiebreaker?
I'm actually torn between A and D. A for
Okay.
Apple, D for Denmark. I'm actually
Okay.
torn between both of them. Ooh, okay.
Well, I think that the answer is going to be D, and I'm going to tell you why I like organizational standards. If the organization has been doing decomposition at a certain level for 2 years and everyone's used to it, if you do it
Okay.
at a higher or lower level, that's
Okay.
going to be confusing for people.
Okay. Yeah.
Uh,
The only way I can see schedule and budget allocations coming in there is if you're doing decomposition and grouping it by, we have to get this stuff done by a certain date, but that's not really decomposition. That's more scheduling. So
Yeah.
I think it's D. Let's test it. We'll find out together. How's that? Okay, so though as a business analyst you want to meet your deadlines, time should not be a main factor in determining the level of decomposition. So you do use organizational standards, what people are used to, knowledge and understanding of the stakeholders. You talk to them at their level. The developers are going to need very, very much more granular information than the executives. Contractual or regulatory obligations, you've got to get down to the level where it meets the needs of whatever the contract or the regulatory obligations require. So these are the 3 that you will be using. Which of the following is not a verification activity? So 3R1 is not, again, for verification. Remember, verification, the goal of verification is to ensure that requirements and design specifications and models meet quality standards and are usable for the purpose that they serve. Verification is verify, which is quality. So checking for completeness within each model, identify and verify assumptions, checking for compliance with organizational performance standards for business analysis, checking for correct use of modeling notation, templates, or forms. So let's start at the top. You think this one is a verification activity?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, and the compliance too, and the correct use of modeling, notation, templates, or forms. That's not
Okay.
the
So which
core
one do you think is,
verification activity.
which one should we eliminate? Is it,
Not the ABC is eliminate and D is the correct one.
okay. So this one is not a verification activity, and these are, okay?
Yes.
Jose, Amarachi, what do y'all think?
It's either A or D. So yeah, checking for correct use of modeling notation, not an activity.
Okay. Amarachi, do you agree?
Check.
yeah.
Okay, let's test it. Okay, so identify and verify assumptions is in the other task, in the validate task. So A and C and D are verify. This one is invalidate.
A quick question to everyone. So verification and validation. So what I'm understanding now, that validation, you're doing it with the stakeholders. Verification, you're doing it internally. You have templates, you have a standards, you have a format, and then you're checking whether it is complete or not. Am I getting it correct?
You can do it independently, but you're still going to want to check with your stakeholders as you check the quality. There is an independent aspect to it, but I wouldn't say that you don't use stakeholder input into that.
Okay. So for some reason, I'm under the impression that once you elicitate the requirements, then you can confirm it with the stakeholders. Then you're doing the verification, and then you, of course, at the last, you're doing the validation. And then again, at the very end, the approval.
You can do verify and validate at the same time with your stakeholders.
Yeah.
Here's the hard thing that I had to overcome whenever I was thinking about verify and validate. Let me step out of that and tell you something totally different. Whenever you're a project manager, your focus is really on the project is behind you and you're talking to the executives and you're explaining, we've achieved this milestone and stuff. So your focus is on the executives. When you're a business analyst, your focus is on the project and the project team members, and the stakeholders. So it's like you're facing two totally different directions. It's the same with verify and validate. With verify, you're focused on the quality of the requirements, and with validate, you're focused on do they meet the needs of the project. And to me, it's like two totally different directions. It's a hard thing to do altogether, but you can do it altogether if you learn how to work it with your stakeholders.
Got it. It reminded me of the last year, or maybe older, analogy we use in the same class. It is
Mm-hmm.
like talking about, am I building the right solution? And it is about validation. And then, am I doing it right? Am I building it the right way? That is verification.
Yes. Am I building it the right way and am I building the right thing?
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
working much more on the risk management from that. It was for me more correct.
Very good. Okay. Maurice is defining performance measures for a new solution with his team. They're reviewing the change strategy, future state description, solution scope, and requirements. What state do the requirements have to be in for the team to consider them viable inputs to the process? So the state of the requirements is the question here. Do they need to be confirmed, unconfirmed, traced, or validated? Remember, he's defining performance measures.
Uh, they need to be confirmed.
Okay. Got to vote for confirmed. I need a second vote. Okay, I'm going to test confirmed.
Validate.
So the correct state for them is they have to have been validated. So they've got to be validated before they can move into the requirements validated date, and then from requirements validated, they can move into the rest of the tasks.
Okay, it's the elicitation that has the unconfirmed and confirmed.
Mm-hmm.
Can we have a look on the trace?
Yes.
Jose, I'm not sure if this is going to be helpful to remember it. Let's say we have 2 plus 2 equal 4. When we verify, can you verify this? Yes, we can verify it is correct. But if you don't get it validated, if it is validated, they will point out that, it was not supposed to be 2 plus 2, it was supposed to be 2 plus 3.
Yeah, okay.
You're missing because the second component was not 2, the second component was 3. So that's why validated means it is really what they really wanted. But sometimes we can verify everything is correct, but it is not the correct thing.
Yeah. Okay, let's move forward. Oh, I'm sorry, let me put that back on what we actually chose. Okay. Padma and her team are ensuring all requirements work in harmony in a single whole that supports the overall business objectives and produces meaningful outcomes for the stakeholder. What is the purpose of this exercise? What task is this, guys?
Validate.
Okay. And the purpose of this exercise, is it to define design options, to manage requirements relationships, to harmonize the requirements, or to define requirements architecture?
No, it's the requirements architecture phase. Yeah, to define requirements architecture.
Okay. I've got one vote for D. Gabrielle, what do you think?
To harmonize requirements.
You could like C. Let's talk about why you like C more than D.
Could also be the managed requirements relationships.
Okay. So Jose, tell me why you like D most.
Okay, I was confusing the phases. I was considering the verify, validate, and then the requirements architecture. But it's not the validate phase because the validate is related with the business needs. Defining the requirements architecture is what we do to make sure that the structure of what we will build is correct. I don't know if I'm saying this right.
Okay. Gabrielle, are you still?
Is there already included in the requirements architecture that the relationships are managed and harmonized?
Do you think that which option will produce meaningful outcome for stakeholders?
So from this highlighting, I would say it's C.
Okay.
Okay, I'm harmonizing the requirements. Do you think it is going to produce anything to the stakeholders? I will have wonderful requirements, wonderful, but I'm just thinking loud with you that if harmonizing the requirements will produce something as a kind of outcome to the stakeholders because they invested maybe a good portion of money, and now I'm telling them, okay, I got the requirements and it is harmonized, and then go and enjoy the benefits.
Let's test D and see what we get.
Wow.
Okay, so the purpose of the define requirements architecture task, which is what we were talking about here, is to define requirements architecture. So define requirements architecture is ensure that the requirements collectively support one another to fully achieve the objectives, which in that case, they can produce the meaningful outcome for the stakeholders.
So the output or outcome is more important for this question, not the harmony. It's more the uh, single whole that supports overall business objectives. This is the most
The
important thing in this question.
Right, right. We want to support the overall business objectives and produce a meaningful outcome to the stakeholders, which directs us to the defined requirements architecture. And the goal for that one is be sure they collectively support each other to fully achieve the objective. Collectively and harmony are kind of synonymous in synonyms in this case. Okay, let's move forward. The number of occurrences in one entity in the data model that are linked to the second entity are called what? So it's how many of the first one are linked to the second one. The how many, is that called in its data model? Is that an attribute, a numerality, a cardinality, or an association?
Cardinality.
Okay, I've got a vote for C. Gabrielle, what do you think?
Could be cardinalities.
Okay. Cardinality refers to the minimum and maximum number of occurrences to which an entity may be related. Numeralities is not a word. Awesome. Okay, generally, when would a business analyst model requirements in a change initiative? When do we do this? After requirement solicitation, after evaluating the solution, at any point in a change initiative before requirement solicitation. So remember, we're talking about a change initiative, which means there's a solution, right? We're changing something. When do we do this?
At any point in a change initiative.
Okay. Jose, what is your vote?
Because the changes can change.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get what Gabrielle is saying. The requirements can be iterative, but I would go with after requirement solicitation.
Okay. So let's talk about why you like A more than C.
Those requirements can always change, and we will need to adapt to those changes after the initial change strategy. But we will need to know what those initial requirements were.
Okay. And Gabrielle, what do you like C best?
I think it's at any point, because then we have also the beginning requirements and also other stages where we put
Okay.
requirements in the process.
Okay. Let's test C and see what we
Yeah.
get. Oh, you're back, Amarachi. Good. Okay, so
Oh,
Jose was correct. Requirements solicitation generally precedes analysis and is stated as an input into the specifying model requirements task. Although the BABOK states solicitation and modeling may occur sequentially, iteratively, or concurrently, you must start with some amount of elicited information before you can model that elicited information. So for specify and model, you've got to start with something, some information that you receive from the business case, from documents, from interviews, workshops, before you can model it. Does that make sense?
And also,
Yeah.
Go ahead, Amal.
I'm just wondering if after a certain stage during the initiative, maybe we will not interact with the requirements. I mean, let's say that now it is solution and we are maybe evaluating the solution. So perhaps we might not need to model the requirements in that stage.
They may already be modeled, but they may need to be they also may also need to be updated. You know, it may be that our needs have changed.
Change, yeah.
Let's move forward. How should a solution options that offer potential capabilities above and beyond those identified in the original business case be handled? So the original business case said we need a gallon of vanilla ice cream, and the solution options say we need vanilla ice cream with butter brickle and caramel fudge added to it. Should they be documented and stored in a way that is easily accessed for similar initiatives? Should they be ignored? They were not part of the original business case and are not relevant to the proposed solution. Should they be identified even when not deemed immediately useful if the organization anticipates using them in the future? Or should they be ignored? The term for these capabilities is gold plating. What does the BABOK say we should do with these?
should be documented and stored.
Okay. Jose Amarachi?
I'm between A for Alabama and D for Denmark.
Okay.
Going above and beyond.
Amarachi, what is your vote?
A.
D, B, I'm sorry.
Oh, I said
Amarachi,
A for apple.
A is for apple. Okay, 2 for A. Let's go. Okay, so for the BABOK says they should be identified even when not deemed immediately useful if the organization anticipates using them in the future. The BABOK talks about this for a COTS, commercial off-the-shelf application. So in the BABOK, what it's really meaning is this. Let's say you buy a human resources program and we want to use it for benefits tracking. And it also has 3 other things that you can use it for. We're not going to, that's not the goal of this project right now. We want to use it for benefits tracking. But we do identify this tool also has these things and set it aside. We don't ignore it. And anytime we get new information, we don't want to ignore it.
So I was thinking of that it is not good to ignore, but there is a difference because between the documented and stored and the identified.
Is it because we are kind of like wasting time documenting them when we could be simply like write them down and not documenting them extensively.
I think we're not wasting time by documenting them, but I do think that I think what made this one wrong is it's stored in a way that's easily accessed. That's not what the BABOK talks about. It just says you identify them, especially if you think the organization might need them in the future. It doesn't talk about storing them. This is one of that 10% that you just have to know how the BABOK explains it to be able to know what to do according to the BABOK. So both of these, identified and documented, are the same thing, but this one goes into what to do with it afterwards. And this seems kind of cheesy because it's like, well, why is it that different? But this is what the BABOK talks about.
And I love the way that Jose said, I mean, that might be a good thing to remember it that way. Identify it, but as you said, Jose, if you don't need it, don't go and break it down and, spend lots of time, as you said, extensively to do, okay, I identified this, and then I'm going to elicit it and have, several sessions to
Yeah.
Yeah, just identify it and leave it because you don't need it now.
Right. Just identify it to good enough and then get back to what you can use in this project and in scope of this particular effort. I knew as an experienced
What's a COTS application?
Commercial on the shelf.
COTS is commercial off the shelf, and it's just the acronym for that. So anything that you buy, let's say you buy something for human resources to manage benefits and payroll and employee onboarding and offboarding and legal documents. So that thing that you buy and you bring in house is called COTS. COTS is something that you can use it as it is. You can customize it, which causes problems later, or you can build your own if you don't want to do a COTS. Okay, let's go on. Anu is an experienced business analyst who is working on a project where senior management are looking for her input on the replacement of an existing solution. She has identified the fact that the solution has reached the end of its life. What recommendations should Anu make to senior management? So if she's has a solution and she's reached a conclusion, that means she is in recommend actions to increase solution value. In this case, it's reached the end of its life. So should she reduce complexity of interfaces, retire the solution, identify additional capabilities, or make organizational changes?
Yeah, in between B for a bank and D for Denmark. I mean,
Okay.
retire the solution, yes, but not have anything to substitute it. So that's why I probably go with D for Denmark.
Okay. I understand your logic. Gabrielle and Marachi, what are your votes? Okay, let's test B. B is correct. Retire the solution is the correct thing because the solution has reached the end of its life. the recommendation is specific in this question. What recommendation should she make? It's specific to the solution itself.
Okay.
It says they're looking for input as a replacement of an existing solution. It seems to me that she should say retire the solution and look for something else, but I don't like this answer either. Let's move on. Jennifer is working on defining design options, identifies that bank managers from various branches have some common needs that could better be met via a single solution, thereby reducing costs. What type of improvement opportunity is she looking at? Is this called eliminating redundancy, identify additional capabilities, automate the work, or improve access to information?
Eliminate redundancy. They
Okay.
have common needs that can be met via a single solution.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gabrielle, Amarachi, what
Yes,
do you think?
it's A.
Okay. It's test A.
A.
This is one of the examples of opportunities that a business analyst is likely to identify. So in the question, what's happening is bank managers are using different tools or different processes. And if they all use the same thing, it would make it where they could share information. Employees could go from branch to branch without having to learn a new tool. And so that would reduce costs. The corporate office of a financial services company recently locked into a new one-year healthcare plan that, while saving the organization a substantial amount of money for the year, significantly changed the terms of the employees' healthcare plans. That change was found to be the reason for a recent decrease in employee satisfaction. Upon discovering that the change in the healthcare plan caused lower employee satisfaction, and considering all other factors, the BA recommended that the organization do nothing. Was this the right recommendation? So we have gotten into recommend actions and increase solution value. Possible answers. No, the BA should recommend a way to enhance it so as to increase solution value. No, there's always something you can do. Yes, it's not feasible or even possible to change it. No, the BA should recommend retiring the solution and introducing another that better meets the employee's needs. What is the best answer?
Is the right recommendation. I will go with A.
Okay.
I don't like D for Denmark because it would mean retiring the solution. But the organization already saved a substantial amount of money, so completely eliminating it wouldn't be the right answer.
Okay. I want to draw your attention to this phrase right here.
New 1 year.
So to answer this question, you've got to understand that to get into a healthcare plan, there's contractual obligations. We've signed documents. We can't make changes.
So
Uh,
that's the A is the correct one
okay.
Okay.
because
Okay.
they are locked into the 1 year healthcare, and they have only the way to enhance it to increase solution value.
Okay, you want me to test A?
Now I'm maybe going with C because I already signed the contract. There's nothing we can do. Maybe try to find another way internally to increase employee satisfaction. But specifically with this solution, the arm is done.
Let's test C. Unfortunately, the organization is locked into a healthcare plan for the calendar year. We can't get out of it. And that's what the question is telling you. There are other things we can do, but not with the solution. It would be external to the solution. We can say, hey, we're going to give you an extra day off, or something like that. Something to help employee satisfaction. But we can't do anything about this because we're locked in. What are the guidelines and tools that are used for recommend actions to increase solution value task? So this is the very last task in the very last knowledge area. Guidelines and tools. Are they business objectives, change strategy, and risk analysis results? Business objectives, current state description, and solution scope. Current state description and solution scope, or decision analysis, organizational modeling, and risk analysis and management. Let's eliminate one of these guys.
Increase solution value. Eliminate D for Denmark.
Why are we eliminating this one, Jose?
Those seem to me like tools, guidelines that we will use on a previous task. We are already kind of like locked in with the solution. We are not gonna do some risk analysis at
Okay.
this phase.
And what is the best answer?
Concept description. B for Bahamas. I don't like A because of change strategy and risk analysis as well.
Okay. Gabrielle Amarachi, what do you think?
A is the correct one.
You like A, and Jose likes B. Gabrielle, why do you like A more?
Because of the change strategy and the risk analysis as
Okay.
input.
Okay. Amarachi, I need a tiebreaker.
Yeah, I think I'm leaning towards B because of the solution scope.
Okay. Let's test
But
B.
yeah, also cool.
And A is not correct. These are for the enterprise limitations task. Those are the guidelines and tools for that one. This one is for the recommend actions to increase solution value. And in that one, we need current state description and solution scope instead of change strategy and risk analysis. Okay. A vital application has begun to experience several unplanned outages. The 99.7 availability target hasn't been met in 3 months and is steadily worsening. Robbie is the BA assigned to assess the situation. He finds the application, hardware, and operating system are solid. However, the circuit supporting the system has become unreliable. So this is a solution performance situation. He's got a solution. what is the circuit in this scenario? The circuit supporting the system has become unreliable, so it's external to the solution itself. Is it a solution limitation, a risk, a solution component, or an enterprise limitation?
It's not a solution component because it's something external to the solution.
I'm telling you it's external to the solution from an old memory. I'm not 100% positive, but I think that's true. So,
Yeah, I see it like, for example, data storage, and there's an issue with the electrical board. The data storage works fine, but the electricity doesn't arrive to the
right.
computers.
It's like my truck runs just fine. It's just I'm out of gas. You know?
Yeah.
Okay, so what do we think the best answer is?
Solution limitation. I would say enterprise limitation.
Okay.
With that gas example, it just may happen that I don't have money to put some gas.
Right. Gabrielle, Amarachi?
So the circuit is also part of the okay, I think it's either, for me it's either A or C.
Okay.
What is the circuit supporting?
The circuit
Yeah.
supporting the system. So the application, the hardware, and the operating system are solid.
Okay. So that makes it either A or C. I would go with A.
Okay. And Gabrielle?
So I would say it could be a solution component.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to test D just because y'all are all answering totally separate things. So solution component is correct. The issue is internal to the solution, so I misled you there, and that's totally on me. I'm going to give y'all credit for it. The circuit supporting the system, in my mind, this means it's external to the solution, but apparently it's internal to the solution.
Can we see the solution limitation option?
From my side, the solution component is the correct one because application, hardware, and operation are solid. So
Right.
the component would be the one which is bringing the problems.
Okay.
Yeah, but it still doesn't make sense to me.
So if it's like a fuse inside of the hardware, this can all be
Yeah.
working just fine, but the fuse is unreliable. It keeps tripping. In my mind, I was thinking this was a circuit like the circuit on the breaker box that feeds the electricity to the hardware.
Yeah.
But it isn't. It meant that it's internal to the solution. It's just not well written. And this is totally on them. But that would mean that a solution component is the problem if it's internal to this system.
Can
Yeah,
I
So
it would make
see
more
A,
sense
please?
if it read the internal circuit supporting the blah blah blah.
the reason it's
However,
not risk, is because there's not an element of uncertainty. We already know it's a problem. And the reason it's not solution limitation is this is better answer. Solution component describes what the circuit is, not just a solution limitation. Does that answer your question, Amarachi?
Yes, it does. Yes,
Okay.
it does. Thank you.
Okay, per Robbie's recommendation, a new high-speed circuit was installed on an expedited basis, but the application continues to exhibit outages. Now what should Robbie do? Should he do an impact assessment, a root cause analysis, a problem analysis, or an error investigation?
I will go with root cause analysis because that fault with the circuit might be a symptom and not the actual root cause.
That's true. Anybody agree or disagree?
I agree.
Okay, let's test it. Okay,
Welcome.
so if it continues to have a problem, they want you to call it a problem analysis. This is a synonym, but the correct answer is called problem analysis in the BABOK.
Yes.
Let me take 8342. Okay.
Okay, you got it. Brenda has completed her assessment of the solution limitations and the enterprise limitations following analysis of performance measures. What guidelines and tools will she use in her next task? So, what task has she just completed?
Assessment of the solution limitations and the enterprise limitations. The solution evaluation.
She has completed solution. Say it again.
Yeah, we are on task 8, solution evaluation. She just did 2 tasks from this group. I don't know how to say it.
Okay. I
I
think she's
think
done 3. She's analyzed performance measures. She's assessed solution limitations and she's assessed enterprise limitations, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so the next task is what?
the current state.
The next task after getting your enterprise limitation and your solution limitation is
The
task.
increase solution value.
Recommend actions to increase solution value. You're correct. So the guidelines and tools for that task, let's see, is business objectives in there?
I think she already used them to describe the solution limitations and enterprise limitations. So that, and also performance measures are also already done. So now she needs to look at the current state description and solution scope and lynch strategy.
Yeah, we already answered to this question, but it was made in a different way.
Okay, are you saying B is the correct answer?
Yes.
D for Denmark.
Okay, let's test D for Denmark. These are the guidelines and tools for the recommend action to increase solution value task, which Brenda will be performing next. You guys got it. Good job. When analyzing performance data, business analysts consider the time period when the data was collected to guard against what? So we want to know how current the data was collected. Do we want to guard against an incorrect benchmark, solution scope changes, anomalies, and skewed trends, or performance variances?
Performance data. Anomalies and skewed trends. Yeah, we might have a spike or a decrease of whatever metric because of some external event, something.
Okay. I've got one vote for C. Amarachi, Gabrielle, what do y'all think?
Yes.
Okay, let's test C. You are correct. Okay, guys, I am running low on energy. Do y'all mind if we go ahead and stop for today?
Yeah, okay.
Oh,
Is that okay? Okay, we're gonna submit the exams. Let's see, we got 16 correct out of 20. And I don't have my calculation here. That should be 85 total. And let's look at what we did on the different chapters. In chapter 7, we had 11 questions. We didn't do very well in chapter 7 at all. We only got 5 out of 11 correct. For chapter 8, we had 14, we got 11 correct. We did really good there. So I'm going to suggest that we continue to add chapters each week. Let's do chapter 6, 7, and 8 this next week. And that way we can continue to hit chapter 6, 7, and 8, but we're going to just add in one chapter every week, unless we do horribly one week, okay?
Yeah, okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Chapter 6, 7, and 8. Do please go through those handouts I created on the techniques, especially 6 and 8. Because you need those techniques in your head if you don't do all of them. Just do 6 and 8, okay? I will
Okay,
see you
okay.
next week.
All right.
Y'all have a good week.
See you.
All right.
Thank you, guys.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank you. Bye. Have a nice weekend.
You also. Bye.